Hello everyone and welcome to Pipes, Tobacco and Whiskey. Today we're doing our 4th of July edition and we are bloated to the max right now. We just had a brisket and ribs and sausage and all of that, and we're feeling pretty good.
Your brisket was fantastic, Tom. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Tell me your secret on your brisket.
Not today.
I tried.
So we have a friend with us today. Patrick is with us. He's a good friend of the family, and he is also a pipe smoker. So he's going to share his thoughts about the tobacco that we're smoking today. Before we get into our tobacco, we're going to talk a little bit about the pipes that we're smoking today. Today we all have Chris Morgan's Bones pipes in our hands, and we've been smoking these for about 6 or 7 months now. We bought these just before Christmas time. And we got to say that, at least in my opinion, these are great smoking pipes. $39 a piece. You can't beat that with a stick, guys. This is a great value pipe and a great smoke. What are your all thoughts on these pipes?
Mine's relatively small, so it's a little bit hot.
Your pipe?
Yeah, my pipe. Yeah, of course. My pipe. It's kind of hot, but I'm okay with it, because I like a little bit of a tongue bite and everything every now and then, so I'm not against it being a little bit hot, but it's all around really smooth.
I smoke mine, just as often as I can. I really like it. It's a short briar. This is the volcano version of that one, and it's one of the ones that's in my regular rotation. I really like it. I've smoked it a lot, and mine probably actually has a little bit more aging than y'all's do. I like it a lot.
I'll say one thing about it. I've dropped this, I have tossed it, I have lost it, I have found it. They're durable pipes.
Yeah.
I mean, for $39, this is something that you don't mind taking with you to work, to the lease, anywhere you go. That's probably a condition where you don't want to take a $400 pipe.
Yeah, for sure.
This is it, and I'm telling you guys, it's sturdy, it's durable. I love my Morgan's pipe.
I bet I smoke mine at least 3 or 4 times a week, easily. I have quite a few pipes that I rotate through, but this one I smoke probably the most during a week's period of time. Mine is actually a sitting brandy, so it is a sitter that will sit down.
Mine is the same. It's a sitting Zulu, so I just set it down and it stays.
Morganspipes.com. Go visit that website, click the pipe button, then click Bones. You'll see whatever selection Chris has at that particular time. Most of them are $39. There's a few that are a little bit more expensive, the larger sizes and the ones with filters. But for $39, this is a deal. Guys, check this out. All right, well, we're going to move on to our tobacco for this week. And we selected this week the Country Squire Tobacconist Cherokee. You can only purchase this tobacco at the Country Squire. You go online, if you Google the Country Squire Tobacconist, you can find it. You can get online. It's $4.99 an ounce. It's a little more expensive than some of the others that we've tried on this show, but as we talk about this, I think you're gonna see that it's well worth the money.
Yep.
And this is it's hand blended right there at the shop. John David Cole is the one that owns the shop and takes care of that. And I've honestly, guys, I haven't tried anything from the Country Squire that I didn't like. I mean, they have such a large selection that you can see online, and whatever your tastes are, they'll have it. Give them a try. Well, we're going to talk about Cherokee today, okay?
This is really good from my point of view because it's sweet. It's an easy smoke. It doesn't burn the back of my throat. Now, as a novice pipe smoker coming in from you guys, I mean, you've been smoking for about 35 years, right?
Yeah.
When I try to experiment and get out of my comfort zone. You said $4.99 an ounce, and that's probably on the lower end of walking into a tobacco shop in the DFW area.
Yeah.
I've seen it from $5 to $8 an ounce.
Yep.
But I'll get some. I'll get a local cherry blend or whatever, and it's very. I don't know what the blend is, but it just tends to burn
Yeah.
the back of my throat, and nothing pisses me off. I'm very frugal. Nothing pisses me off more than spending $6 for an ounce of tobacco, and my first bowl just burns the living tar out of the back of my throat. And I
Yeah.
thought, man, I could have bought beer with that money.
Well,
Yeah.
and I think what we're going to talk about today is going to kind of help describe what you're going through on some of those tobaccos. This is a aromatic blend. It is basically blended with toasted Cavendish and Virginias. According to Tobacco Review, there are no flavorings and no casings on it. It's a ribbon cut, and of course it is in a bulk form. Although I do think that there is some sort of topping on this. I'm not sure. I'd have to call John David and ask him what they do with that. But anyway, let's start with the condition that the tobacco comes in. When I first get this, and I order a pound at a time when I order this. It's a little moist.
Yeah.
It's a little moist, so I let it, before I smoke it, I let it sit for about 30 minutes.
Does it come in vacuum sealed?
No.
How do you get how do you compensate for the loss of moisture in transit?
Well, it comes to me in transit a little moist. And they may do that intentionally, knowing that there's going to be some weather conditions and
Yeah.
transit things like that. But to me, still, it's kind of a moist tobacco, so I let it dry out. Now, some people that I've talked to will go right out of the bag. You know, they like it the way it comes right out of the bag.
You do.
That'd be me.
Yeah.
Now, when you I'm sorry to go off script. When you let it dry out, are you concerned that you're going to burn through the bowl at a faster rate than you would with a moist tobacco?
Not me, because I don't let it sit there for any length of time. It's 30 minutes usually, and I put it in the bowl, so a lot of the dryness is only coming from the top of the tobacco.
So you don't open the bag. You pack a bowl and you let it sit.
And I'll let the bowl
like
sit
you
for
open a
about 30
bottle of
minutes.
red wine and you let it aerate.
Right. Yeah. So, what did you guys
That's
think about
connected to the bowl.
What did you guys think about the condition?
So yeah, it came to me. It came kind of moist. I'm one of the people just like Ian. Right when it comes to me, I'm smoking it right out of the bag. I might let some condition, I might not, but for the most part, I smoked it right out of the bag. The moistness, the level of intensity in it, the humidity, whatever you want to call it, it didn't bother me 1 second at all.
I tried it straight out of the bag. I tried it loading a bowl and just letting it sit for about 30 minutes to an hour. I also tried the delayed gratification thing because you kind of turned me on to that. And, you know, I found that, you know, with the delayed gratification, it smoked pretty smooth, not quite as smooth as whenever you just let it sit out for a couple minutes. I preferred to let it actually sit for 30 minutes to an hour in the bowl. And just, you know, smoke it that way. It didn't actually, like Patrick said, yeah, that kind of does affect the smoke to where it goes a little bit hotter. But that just goes back to how you're actually smoking it.
Yeah.
You know, if you're smoking it slow and actually just kind of slow sipping it like a nice glass of wine, then it's not going to burn as hot. You know, I enjoyed it whenever you let it sit out for about 30 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, and the delayed gratification usually doesn't make a big difference on aromatic.
Okay, I did not know that.
It makes more of a difference on Virginia blends and English blends.
Well, this is a part Virginia blend.
Well, but
Yeah,
but when you start adding toppings to it and
Yeah.
things like that, it does change the properties of the
So
tobacco.
from a novice point of view, why is your delayed gratification for? All right, well let's back up. Tell me the difference between delayed gratification and leaving it in your bowl for half an hour to an hour and smoking it.
That is
a delayed gratification. You're actually you're packing it in, you're lighting the bowl, and you're taking 6 to 10 puffs from the bowl, and then you're going to leave it. You're going to set it aside and leave it. Sometimes for an entire day. You may not even come back to that pipe until that evening or even the next day. And some people say that doing that, it kind of encases the tobacco with the charring on the top and allows the tobacco to really kind of blend with each other. And so you're getting a truer smoke from what's in the bowl rather than tasting the Virginia, tasting the Cavendish, tasting the Burley, tasting whatever. The tobacco has a chance to really unify and become more of a solid tobacco rather than a bunch of different types of tobaccos. So that's what the delayed gratification is. What I do is I just pack the bowl and then I don't light it. I sit it down and let it just dry out a little bit. So that's the difference as to what we're talking about.
When I do that, I feel like I've picked up a cigarette that's been sitting in the ashtray for a week, and all I taste is the nasty.
Well, you've probably
for-
smoked it down at least to half a bowl when you do that. Yeah. What delayed gratification is it's basically just charring it, getting that top layer
Building
burnt,
a charcoal bed, basically.
and then leaving it alone. Yeah. So there's a little bit of a difference there. Okay, so let's talk about tin note. What did you guys think about tin note?
I actually liked it quite a bit. The smoke itself, I was pretty indifferent towards it, but the actual tin note, you got a lot. I got some chocolate, I got some nougat out of it. I didn't get a whole lot of the Virginia, but it took me back to the. I smoked quite a bit of Black Cavendish, and I'm slowly starting to get into Virginias and Latakias and some English blends. But I got quite a bit of the Black Cavendish. It was kind of like a reminder. Like I haven't touched it in a while, so smoking this was kind of a refresher on the Black Cavendish. Because especially out of the tin note, I got the chocolates, I got the nougat, and I got Black Cavendish out of it. So I kind of dug the tin note.
Nougat was the primary the aroma that I get out of this. As soon as I put my nose in it, I'm getting that nougat kind of flavor. Scents. There are some hints of a little bit of honey, maybe a little bit of vanilla. I even at a couple of times got a very small waft of some dried fig, but for the most part, I just got a lot of sweetness from the nougat. Yeah. What about you guys?
Every time I get this, because it's one of my everyday smokes, every time I get this, I open the bag, smell it, chocolate hits me right in the face every time. And then I get the nougat, I can smell the toasted Cavendish and everything like that, but chocolate every time. It doesn't overwhelm me, but it's right there and I enjoy it.
It's pleasant. Yeah, it's a pleasant smell that I get out of it. Cool. Well, let's talk about the actual smoke then. Yeah. When I light it up, immediately, this is one of the few tobaccos that, to me, actually tastes like what it smells.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You go to these brick and mortars and you get these, cherry blends or whatever, whatever you get, and you smell it and you go, man, that is just awesome smell. I'm going to buy 4 ounces of this, and you take it home and it's like, oh man, this doesn't taste like anything.
Yeah,
like
this ain't what this is not what I bought.
Yeah.
To me, this tobacco is very representative of what it smells like.
Yep.
As far as the taste goes, there's a creaminess to it.
Yep.
I get a nougat taste, but here's the thing: this is not a sweet aromatic. This is kind of a semi-sweet aromatic. It takes a back seat on the sweetness, and so you're not getting overpowered by all of these different flavors. You're getting some tobacco taste in there as well. So, if you're a Virginia lover, you're getting some of those Virginias coming through.
Yep.
That sweetness and tanginess of the Virginia.
It really is. I mean, and it tends to either the nick hit and some of the other things on it when it comes down to the strength of the tobacco as well. It smells like an aromatic, it smokes like an aromatic, but when you actually go through it and you're breathing it in and you smoke it, you get the hit of your Virginias, some other things that some of your Perique or your Scottish blends or your Balkan blends would do. there's a medium hit to it as well. It touches every note on it.
It doesn't burn the back of your throat.
Speaking of burn, I get no tongue bite on this at all.
Nope.
I got a little bit, and that might have been the Cavendish in it, the toasted Cavendish in it, coming through. But
I think it's the Virginia that you're probably feeling.
It's got to be
the
a
bite.
Virginia.
Yeah,
And-
the Cavendish should be pretty mellow.
well, and with that, you guys were talking about how you got the actual tobacco flavor to it. I just got a lot of the nougat and the creaminess and the chocolate out of it. I didn't actually get a whole lot of the Virginia coming through to it, and I'm slowly starting to get into Virginias, and so that's really been my main smoke. I wake up in the morning, I go to work, and on the way to work, I have a Virginia on the way there. So it's not as powerful as what I've been usually smoking as of lately, but I did like the sweetness to it because, like I said earlier, with the tin note, the actual smoke, and like you said, this is one that when you smell it, it tastes like what you smell. I got that Cavendish out of it, and I got the sweetness and all that stuff out of it. So, with that, there was some tongue bite coming to it. I'm not sure if you guys mentioned it might have been the Virginia.
I bet if you smoke it fast, if you're a hard smoker, then you're probably going to get some burn on this one.
And on my 15-minute drive to work, smoking a pipe, you
Yeah.
kind of got to snap it out pretty quick. So, yeah, with that, that's probably what I got out of it.
He's used to that, though.
Yeah.
I was listening to the Country Squire radio podcast one day,
Yeah, they do have a
and
podcast.
they said, John David said that this was the Country Squire's answer to Lane 1Q.
Yep.
Have you guys? Do you guys?
I have. I have tried Lane 1Q.
I've tried Lane 1Q. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
well, I will say there is definitely some relatable taste
because
to
of the
it.
Cavendish.
Yeah, exactly. There's that creamy, there's that vanilla, there's that nougat flavor there. I will say one thing, and please, no one shoot me over this. I will say that the Country Squire does a better job of mellowing out the burn that Lane 1Q seems to have presented
Well,
to me.
I think that
Lane 1Q burned so hot.
Lane 1Q is very popular.
It
so,
is.
I
hey,
think it was explained to me. I think that Lane 1Q is the most popular pipe
it is,
tobacco
yeah.
It is.
across the board. So you're talking about we're all talking about drinking a Budweiser, and then you get a craft lager.
Yep.
Lager versus lager, but it's not Budweiser, right?
Right.
It's a nice craft one. You got somebody, and it might be owned by Budweiser. Right? Hell, there's only 6 breweries that own
All of the
breweries.
yeah.
But you're talking about having a nice craft lager versus the Beechwood aged. There are definitely similarities.
Yep.
But there's a little bit in here because I've got some experience with Lane 1Q. There's something about this that's a little more pleasant, a little more down home, a little more friendly.
That's kind of
Not
maybe
so,
that's what it is.
Maybe not so mass produced. And there's nothing against Lane 1Q.
No.
And there's nothing against Budweiser.
Nope. Yeah. Let's put that
We
out.
love
Budweiser's a
Budweiser.
big
Yes,
fan.
It's fantastic.
Well,
But
yeah. Well, that was and this has been around in their stores for over 40 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's an old blend. It's,
Okay.
as a matter of fact, it's one of their original blends. Now, if you try this and you think, yeah, I like it, but I want something with a little more punch, they make 2 other blends
we can make a load.
that match this flavor profile. That's stronger as far as the nick hit and the boldness of the tobacco. They got the next step up would be called Indian Summer, and then the step up after that is called Choctaw.
Yeah.
So if you guys are looking for something that is a little more powerful,
So are
Those-
they introducing more of the Virginia blends, more of the? And I hate to compare Virginia to an English because again I'm a
not,
novice
yeah.
and I can't tell you the difference. But if it's a very harsh, it doesn't matter that lot of Kia that you wax poetic about. That's very. I mean, I might as well just open a can of Copenhagen and load my bowl with that.
Yeah.
there is a significant difference between the taste profile and strength profile between this Cherokee and Indian Summer. I've got Indian Summer as well, and I've smoked it, and it's quite the nick hit is stronger,
Yep.
and
Do you get the burn?
no. As far as how the tobacco smokes, it's about the same, but it's just a bolder tasting tobacco. It's all in the flavor profile.
Yeah. I haven't smoked anything from Country Squire. That's given me a burn.
Yeah, I haven't either. Now, there's been a couple that I didn't particularly care for, but that's only because I don't care for that style of tobacco.
Yeah.
Not that they didn't do a good job of blending it. Okay. All right. Well, room note. What did you guys think about? What do you think about the room note?
I love it.
Yeah, this is super pleasant.
Yeah.
Everybody that walks into the room
Yep.
comments about how this smells.
I don't think that my wife would give me a hard time for smoking this
Yep.
because it's very pleasant. She wouldn't kiss me, but she wouldn't give me a hard time for smoking it.
Nope.
Yeah. And me smoking out on a patio, instead of in a garage or in a smoking room or whatever, I didn't get to experience the actual room note as much, but I did hear comments from, my girlfriend after I would come back in, and usually whenever I smoke a tobacco, she's like, "Wow, you smell like tobacco. Like, go sit on the other end of the couch, whatever." But this one, she had no problem with it. She seemed to enjoy it, So I mean, not necessarily a room note, but what it actually, how it stuck to me, I found that it was really, really pleasant and really acceptable by just about everybody.
It's just that third level.
Yeah,
It coming out of the package, it smokes like it smells, and it smells like it smokes. Just right there at the end, it leaves the same aroma of what you're tasting, what you smelled coming out of the tin.
Yeah.
Incredibly pleasant.
It was true to its name all the way through.
That nougat kind of hangs around.
It's there the whole
at
time.
end. Yeah.
And a comment about the tin note as well. Whenever I get my bag of this shipped in and I open it up, I'll have some people smell it and things like that and try it. I have people that don't even want to touch tobacco. He walks up to me, he says, "Dude, I'd smoke that."
Yeah.
And he
Yep.
doesn't smoke tobacco, he doesn't do
Just doesn't touch
anything.
it.
Well, I think this is a good, to that note, this is good beginner tobacco.
Oh yeah.
Right, because it's very very pleasant. The aroma, the room note, the tongue bite, the nick hit. It's all very pleasant and forgive me for you more advanced people, very entry level. It's just an easy one to start with.
Yep.
Yes, but it's also an easy one to hang on to as
Yep.
well. They were talking about this at Country Squire that they had a regular customer who was coming in for 40 years, and this is all he smoked for 40 years. So I agree with you. This, if you're a young smoker, haven't tried a lot of different tobaccos, get this in your rotation, and you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
But also for you experienced smokers, if you're looking for a change of pace a little bit, something a little bit on the sweeter side.
A little more complex. Is what I get from it.
It's a complex aromatic
Yeah.
is what it is,
Yeah.
and it just is a good, for me, a good all day smoke.
All you Carter Hall fans, eat your heart out, man. This is a good smoke.
Yeah.
What did you guys think about the Nick hit on this one?
Oh, mild.
Mild.
Yeah.
Nah.
And just because Nathan turned me on to Virginias as of recently, the Virginias, they hit quite a bit harder, and Nathan comes from a cigarette background, I come from a Copenhagen background, or just chewing tobacco background, so I'm used to a pretty heavy nick hit. The Virginias really hit me pretty well, on the nick hit, and this one was just pretty mild, playful. It's one of those ones that if you had at noon, whenever you're at work and you're at lunch or something like that, and you wanted to try it out and actually get a little break, but at the same time want to keep working.
Yeah.
Like I found that this one was really, really good for that. So mild to medium for me.
This is one I'll smoke at the deer lease all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
All the time.
Yeah. And for me, I remember the first time I tried it because this has a lot of similarities to another one of my daily smokes. It's mixed by the same people, as a matter of fact. Second Breakfast, that's part of their Middle Earth line.
Yeah.
It was much more powerful in it, even though they were both, I'm pretty sure, a Cavendish and Virginia's mix. But Second Breakfast isn't as much Virginia's at all, if any.
Well, it does have some, but it also has maple topping on it too,
Yeah.
as well.
So
That's
pretty nice.
yeah.
But I remember the first time trying it, we were out at the deer lease. I was sitting there and I was not prepared for what happened. I was sitting there and we might have had a few drinks left and right there that night as well. But I remember smoking it, watching a movie. I set the pipe down and I look at my hands. I'm like, holy crap, this is pretty powerful. I remember that exactly how it happened. It was hilarious.
That's
But
because his brother substituted.
Yeah.
No,
No,
not in the cube
No,
family.
no, we don't do that.
All right, so final thoughts. I think this is a go-getter. You know, spend the money, $4.99 an ounce.
Not a bad price. Not a
no.
bad smoke.
You're going to smoke all of it.
Yeah.
You'll smoke it all, so it'll be well spent.
Hell, at $4.99, you got to smoke all of it, man. If you're going to spend that much money.
Well, that's really not that much considering what like esoterica costs and things like that.
right.
So, ratings. Patrick, what did you think about this on a scale of 1 to 5 shots?
You know, I loved it. This is right up my alley. This is the flavor that I like, that I seek. As I explained earlier, you don't get the burn in the back of your throat. As you mentioned, if you've got 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, you can do a quick burn on it. It's a good one. It's not offensive to probably anybody other than my wife. It's a good flavor. 5.
5. Awesome.
this is one of my daily smokes. Every time I get this thing shipped into me, I couldn't be more excited, like a kid in a candy store. It's a 5 out of 5 shots for me. I love this stuff. It's one of my top ones right now.
Oh.
And coming in from an early age of smoking pipes and everything like that, I cannot complain.
He's only been smoking for like 3 months.
Yeah.
He's 21 and a half.
Nathan, what about you?
And guys, I will say, y'all know how I feel about aromatics. This is probably the best one I've ever smoked by far. I give it a solid 4, and I encourage everybody who out there is a Balkan or a Scottish lover like myself. Try some of this. You'll be pleasantly surprised how you can rotate it into your summer and spring afternoons.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Well, this is my daily smoke, and it's probably now the only aromatic that I smoke. I smoke a lot of other different types, but as far as aromatic goes, this is it. And I give it a 4.5 only because I'm still waiting for that Nirvana smoke, you know,
Yep.
that perfect smoke. And I don't know what that would be, so who knows if I'll ever give a 5. But this one's right up there, in my top 3 tobaccos that I smoke. 4.5.
Right on. I'm gonna be the bad guy, and I gave it a 3. It's
He was just waxing poetic a few minutes ago about it.
Yeah, I have good things to say about the 10 note. The smoke itself is a little bit hot for me. I mean, that might be my technique as well, but I just didn't get a whole lot of the complex flavors that I really wanted. All I really got was the chocolate and the creaminess, and and my palate's changing all the time. So I gave it a 3 just because it didn't quite hit like the tobaccos that I'm smoking right now. It was a little bit too aromatic and a little bit too playful for me. So I give it a 3.
Well,
Too playful.
so with all of those combined, the average comes out to a 4.3. I believe that's the highest one we've given so far.
That is the highest one.
So I'm going to
Way
say,
to go.
instead of 4.3, I'm going to say 4.5. So we get 4.5 shots for this one.
Let's line them up.
4.5 shots each.
4.5
Yeah.
shots.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're not driving
So
up.
there you go. That's the Country Squire Cherokee. Make sure you get to their website and check out everything that they've got. There's not a bad one in the bunch. Also, don't forget to check out these Chris Morgan Bones pipes.
Please.
That's morganpipes.com. Excellent smokers for $39. He's got the entire story of how he goes through the process of getting these and making these for customers like us. So that's something to check out as well.
Yep.
All right, well, another episode, guys.
Fantastic.
Wrap
Please,
one up.
please, people, make sure you remember, we do read your comments at the bottom, so
do.
please leave any comments of any suggestions, any options, any items that you guys want us to try, and please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Please. And Patrick, thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
My
Yeah.
pleasure.
Thank
My
you.
pleasure.
Thank
I've been
you.
watching you guys for weeks now, and it's been something I've wanted to do. Is come and sit in with you guys. And
We'll have to bring you back for our
Yeah.
whiskey tasting.
Yeah, that's the next
Stay
point.
tuned.
Next
There's
week's
more to
we
come.
will be doing a whiskey tasting, not a
Yes.
tobacco tasting.
Evan
So,
Williams.
Yes.
Yep.
You ready?
All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in, and don't forget, make all your piping moments count. Thanks again. We'll see y'all later.
Hey,
Oh, he gets the hat.
Ian took the hit
Everybody-
for us all. Patrick, go ahead.
Patrick,